Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. In this video, I will explain about Swagger UI. It is also called as Test UI. This video all about theory, Swagger UI or Test UI theory. It is not a sketch video. It is continuation video of Postman and Swagger UI playlist. This playlist link I will provide in description of this video. So let's get started. I will write some bullet points about Swagger UI. So Swagger UI. It is also called as Test UI. Test UI. So post point. Swagger is a open source. Swagger is a open source and it is Test UI. It is Test UI. Second point. Swagger used to generate API documentation. Generate API documentation. Third point, Swagger dependency will scan all possible methods not possible. You can make you can all possible, not all possible. Swagger dependency will scan all HTTP methods. Swagger dependency will scan all HTTP methods and their URLs from application and creates a dynamic UI and it creates a dynamic UI. Fourth point, in case project have multiple REST controllers, then Swagger is better to use. Here, in case of project have multiple REST controllers, then Swagger is better to use, because of if multiple controllers are there, then we need to enter, like we need to choose HTTP method type. We need to enter like URI, headers, body, these everything. It will take time. If you are using Swagger, then URL and method type it will appear by default, right? So fifth point, Swagger UI. We need to enter only inputs like body. Params comes under either path parameters, request parameters, headers, cookies, these kind of other things are taken care by Swagger UI. Other things can take care only Swagger UI. Sixth point is faster than Postman because of auto detected all HTTP methods. Swagger UI faster than Postman because of auto detected all HTTP methods in Swagger UI. Seventh point, Swagger UI, we can also call it as Test UI. Implementations. One implementation is Spring Fox. Second implementation is Open API, or we can also call it as Open API or Open API specification. We can also call it as Open API specification. OAS, Open API specification. These are the 7 points very important about Swagger UI. also call it as test UI. So in this video, we are discussing about Swagger UI or test UI theory. I will read these all points. Swagger UI, we can also call it as test UI. Swagger is a open source, free to use, everyone can use, and it is test UA. Like test UA, nothing but by using Swagger UA, we can test our project REST endpoints. So in our project, if any REST controllers are there, then REST controller methods we can call it as like handler methods. Those handler methods we can test by using this test UI or Swagger UA. See, Swagger used to generate API documentation. API documentation is nothing but our REST controller endpoints. It will be usable on Swagger UI screen, some UI page. So like method type visible. This is the URI will be usable. We need to enter just if any required parameters and body required, then we need to enter Swagger. Swagger dependency will scan all HTTP methods and their URLs from application and creates a dynamic UI. Just if we are adding Swagger dependency like either Spring Box or OpenAPI, then Swagger UI will be available. In that Swagger UI, if you want to change anything, then we need to write some OpenAPI code or docket. We need to add some docket to write. In case of project, you have multiple REST controllers, then Swagger is better to use. Swagger UI, we need to enter only inputs like body, params like a path variable, request param, headers, cookies, etc. Other things are taken care by Swagger UI only. Faster than Postman. Swagger UI is a faster because of auto-detected all HTTP methods in Swagger UI. Swagger UI or test UI implementations. Springbox, this is a old implementation. I can also say like old implementation. IMPL means old implementation. This is the OpenAPI or OpenAPI specification OAS. It is a latest one. It is a latest one. Swagger UI or test UI. Swagger is a open source and it is test UI. Remember these 7 points are very important about Swagger UI or test UI. Swagger is a open source and it is test UI. Swagger is used to generate API documentation. The Swagger is a open source and it is test UI. By using, if we have project, in that project we have few REST controllers are there, then those REST controller methods we are testing by using Swagger UI, right? Swagger is a open source and it is test UI. We are testing handler methods by using test UI. Swagger used to generate API documentation. Swagger used to generate API documentation. API is nothing but all details like method type, URL, request body parameters. These will be generated just when you to enter the body and params. Swagger dependency will scan all HTTP methods and their URLs from application and creates a dynamic UI. Whenever we are adding Swagger dependency in form.xml or build.gradle, then our Swagger will be available. In case of project have multiple REST controllers, then Swagger is better to use. Swagger UI, we need to enter only inputs, body params, request param, path variable, query parameters, headers, like that. Other things are taken care by Swagger UI only. Faster than Postman because of auto-detected or HTTP methods in Swagger UI. Swagger UI or test UI implementations. Spring Box old implementation. OpenAPI or OpenAPI specification. OAS, it is the latest one. These are the very most important points about Swagger UI or test UI. I am repeating one more time. Swagger is a open source and it is test UI. Swagger is used to generate API documentation. Swagger dependency will scan all HTTP methods and their URLs from application and creates a dynamic UI. In case of project have multiple REST controllers, then Swagger is better to use. Swagger UI, we need to enter only inputs, body, parameters. Other things are taken care by Swagger UI only. Faster than Postman because of auto-detected all HTTP methods in Swagger UI. Swagger UI are test UI implementations. Spring Box old implementation. OpenAPI or OpenAPI specification OAS. It is a latest implementation. Thank you for watching this video. We have successfully understand Swagger UI or test UI theory.